Oh, I am so sorry, ma'am. I hope these two barnacle heads haven't harmed you in any way.
Who are you?
Why, I'm Squidward.
What kind of fool do you take me for? He's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward! Are there any other Squidwards I should know about?
Meow.
I'm out of here.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of Pack Review, the video where I spend money on packs so you guys don't have to. Except this time, I actually didn't have to spend money on packs because, before I even get started with this video, I want to get a huge thanks to Lord Firestaff for his grand contribution in this pack review, because he gave me lots of crowns. And for those wondering, how exactly did you get those crowns from Firestaff? Well, essentially, I came to a stream while I was finishing doing some homework for physics and stuff, and he decided to do a tournament. I decided to enter it. He asked if I wanted to enter. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I happened to win that tournament and got myself 60k crowns, and it was great. And essentially what I decided to do with those crowns was to review the packs that I have missed during the time of pack review, because I know you guys really look forward to seeing these videos, because not only do you guys happen to really love the meme intros, but you also love, you know, how informative they can be, to kind of give you like a second opinion whether you should spend money on a certain pack or not spend money on that certain pack. So again, I just want to apologize, come on aside, for not, you know, being on time in terms of, you know, the recent packs that have just came for quite a while. However, like I said, it's better to be late than never. And also, with the shout out, I also want to let you guys know that Firestaff does have a Twitch. So if you're interested in following, I will have a link to Firestaff's Twitch in the description. This one is actually pretty special though, because we're not reviewing one pack,
not two, not three,
but we are reviewing 4 packs. No one has done this, at least through my knowledge, that no one has done this within the Wizard101 community. But I will be doing that because why not? Because I missed a lot, and I'm guessing you guys missed me as well in terms of, like, you know, the pack reviewer. But essentially, the packs that we're going to be reviewing today are going to be the Druids Horde pack. We're also going to be reviewing the Spelemental Skyverns pack, we're reviewing Zafaria Safari pack, and we're also reviewing the latest Pharaoh's Spelemental pack. So, without further ado, let's get started. The 4 packs we'll be reviewing today are going to be all for the Spelemental Pharaoh's pack, Zafaria Safari pack, the Spelemental Skyverns pack, and also the Druids Horde pack. One of them I will technically break the rule for very obvious reasons, but without further ado, let us get started with the pack opening showcase. So, these first 3 I'm going to be doing up to like 10k. Around 10k. So basically when I get like around 30, I'll just stop from there. Let's do it. First pack opening, let's see if I get anything nice. All right, so we got some, that's actually a pretty good opening already. Look at that. We got 2 hats, we got some Daybreaker, 4 Daybreaker, my ad. This looks really solid right now. So let's keep opening this up real quick. Let's see. I mean, oh wow, right away we got the wand. That's pretty pog, I'll be honest. That's actually really pog. So far it seems pretty good. You know, I'm at a specific area for a specific reason, and it seems that I've been getting lots of really nice stuff. We even got some Nightbringer. We got the same hat. You know, we only got the rental version of the mount. We'll keep opening these up. Let's see how much did I get in Nightbringer. We got 30 Nightbringer, which is actually really pog, so definitely gotta keep going. Hey, we got some Sunions, actually pretty pog. And we also got a different wand as well, which is also really good. So far these packs have been not too bad actually. They've been pretty decent, pretty solid overall. And I'm lagging quite a bit too, which is actually not the best. We got a robe as well. pretty solid. I think we just completed one set at least, which is actually pretty solid. I have to say that's pretty solid for like under 10k. That's just we got the pet. Oh, that's awesome. We got the pet. We got the cute little sapling. I ain't talking about the homework service though. We actually do have a homework service called sapling. Freaking hated it. I freaking hated it so much. But you know, we got a cute little sapling pack. You know, we didn't get that homework service. So I don't think we're gonna complete all the sets, but hey, you know, we complete something at least. Yes! 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 I got the permanent mount, let's go! Alright, we're gonna keep opening. Obviously, you know, we got the limit of 10k at least. We got the sapling once again. Some housing items, you know, it is what it is, Chief. And we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. We got double Nightbringer. Okay, okay. I think I already had this one, but still, I'll take it. Let's see, 9 Nightbringer from that. That's actually pretty crazy. So far, the pack is not that bad in terms of the opening, so for me anyway. But I say the quality isn't necessarily the best. There really isn't that much usefulness to the pack in my opinion. Other than probably getting like the spell elements, and that's generally about it. Most of this time I'm just getting pets and stuff, and that's just not a good thing when it comes to packs. So let's open just one more. This is gonna be the last one. And looks like we got another Sunyon, which definitely Sunyons are great. But at the same time, you know, could have been a little bit better. That's all I have to say. Yes, let us bask in this glorious sun from this glorious house, as it will be our luck to get some pretty good loot. The next pack we're going to be opening is the Spellamental Skyverns pack, which I have opened some of these before. And basically, in short, they give you probably like the best Nova gear possible. So, like always, we're going to open 10k of these as well. Turquoise is the one you want, specifically. But I believe that these gives Ice Beetle and also Leprechaun. Those are probably the two things that this pack will give. But for the most part, you're just going there mostly for the Nova gear. You're not really going to go there for spell elements. Honestly, if I were you, I wouldn't recommend. These give quite a good amount of teleports. Actually, that's actually pretty nice. You know, very good for people who love house decorating. Definitely very good. I've never seen that before, actually. That's my first time. And I got one Leprechaun spell element. And I also got, like, I think probably one Ice Beetle. Let's be honest. Ice Beetle? I got 3 Frost Beetles. It's Frost Beetles. I like to call it Ice Beetle, though. It's just a habit of mine. But let's keep opening some more. And we got the turquoise robe, which is definitely something that I really wanted here. Turquoise robe, and all I really need is the hat. Another set of the hat will be pretty solid, but I think this will be my last opening. No, the next one will be my last opening. But so far, this pack is not necessarily the best. You know, it's just... Okay, so yeah, I have max stuff, so we'll just have to be back as we try to sell some of the stuff, because this is definitely not rare. These you can actually get in the bazaar. I'm very certain you can get these in the bazaar. Alright guys, and here we are in beautiful Zafaria. I'm probably going to go to the savannah specifically, because I actually really love the savannah. I think the savannah is actually pretty nice, so we're going to go over there. And we're going to be opening probably the pack I'm most excited for, which is the Zafaria pack. And to my opinion, I feel like this might be a lot better compared to the other pack we just opened, which is the Spellamental Skyvern pack. Definitely one thing I will say is that the only good thing really about the Spellmental Skyvern pack, other than maybe the Spellements, even though I wouldn't say that's like actually a good thing, is the Nova gear. Other than that, it's not really that worth in my opinion. So let's go ahead and open 10k worth of this pack as well. So we got Zebra Warrior, a bunch of decent reagents on. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually not terrible, not bad either. Oh, ooh, we got Scorpion Spellements. I forgot about that. Let's go. We got a permanent mount right away. Second opening. Let's go. The Plains Warthog, or as I like to call him, Puma. Okay, that's actually really good. So let's keep opening some more. Maybe this one is it. Maybe this pack is it. Got some Dark Sprite. I forgot Dark Sprite gives is also in this pack. Lots of more housing items and some other stuff, but you know, so far not too terrible. You know, we finally got like a permanent mount kind of right away, so definitely not necessarily the worst of the worst. And we got 4 Scorpions from that, which is actually not too bad. I don't think that pet is rare. It's a Quetzal, so I don't think it's rare. I think it's already been around for quite a while. And we got ourselves... Oh, look at that. We got ourselves a nice looking wand here. That's actually really solid. I think I already got this wand before from a free pack, and honestly that wand looks pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. So definitely pretty good opening so far. Okay, we finally got a storm hat here, and we can only open a couple more. I wish we had a lot more. That would have been pretty awesome to get just a lot more. A bunch of housing items, pretty useless snacks and stuff, but now and then it does give you some pretty good stuff overall. And I think that's our last one we can open. And we got some boots. And how much Scorpions do we get? 3 Scorpions. And quite... Okay, we got a Balance and Myth boots. So I don't think we have a complete set overall, but it's still not too bad of an opening. Could have been a lot better, but it's not terrible. So I'll definitely take what I can get here. All right, guys, and now we are at the final place as because we're opening the final pack. Now, this is the only pack where I will technically probably break my rule because I've seen people opening this and it's not that great, let me tell you. So let's go ahead and just open 5k of these instead of the 10k that I usually do. Usually when I do a pack review, I always do generally just 10k. But with this pack, I've been seeing people open it, and it's not necessarily the best. I mean, I did get some boots at least. I mean, I guess we'll take those. But generally, it's just not necessarily the best. And I just do not like this pack that much, personally. I mean, it does give some pretty cool things. Like, it gives some pretty cool, like, Crocotopia type TC, which are kind of rare. These housing items, though, literally could just buy all of these in the bazaar. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. It's the one pack that I definitely have to say with really, you know, high confirmation that it is just not worth your time. Oh, wow, I finally got a complete set of this trash gear. Oh, I forgot about the Crocker Gator. It's there. It's, you know, it exists. You know, it's a thing. Oh, look at that, my first Elemental TC. Oh, that's one that's kind of cool, though. I have to say, that one is pretty cool, but I don't think it will save the pack from its torture that I am going to give it after I review it, because let me tell you, I am not a fan of this one. At least I got a 1. That wand is actually kind of solid. I'll be honest. That wand is really cool. I'll definitely take the wand any day. And we got ourselves a robe, which I guess it's nice. And we got some amber, you know, I guess it's nice. And so far, you know, some amber now and then. It's not necessarily the best though. Way too many housing items for sure. Let's see. Anything good? Anything good? So far, no. Nothing really that great comes from this pack at all. Definitely not a recommend for me. Oh wow, finally a lightning bat spellman. Only one as well that comes from this. Definitely not the best in my opinion, for sure. And the last one, another lightning bat spellman. I guess you kind of save yourself, not really though. Again, just another one, but the wand is there. I mean, I think these wands, I mean, in the picture, small little picture, they look kind of nice, so not necessarily terrible, but still, not a fan. So in this portion of the video, I will not have face cam on, and it's mainly just because I feel like if I was to just put face cam on, then what's going to happen is that while I'm recording my wizard, I'm just going to be walking around literally everywhere. And I'm not sure if this annoys people. I feel like it kind of annoys people to see, you know, just some guy walking around literally everywhere. You know, he just can't stand still. And it's just because how I am in real life, I guess. I guess the transition to Wiz. Essentially, I'm a person who can't necessarily sit still, stand still. I always have to have some sort of movement. And I think it just translated to Wiz. So instead of just having face cam with my wizard just walking wherever it is he's going to be walking towards, I'm going to have some Beast Moon footage from a couple games ago as the background and just go over some of these packs. So with the start, we're going to be going over the Druids Horde pack. So one of the most interesting things I found about the Druids Horde pack is that out of all the 4 that I'm reviewing today, this one actually gives the most spell elements. Usually for this one, I got a decent amount of 30s, a decent amount of 5s. There wasn't really many times where I just got only like one spell elemental from either Daybreaker or Nightbringer, and it could be for a good reason because you can technically easily get both Daybreaker and Nightbringer from bosses in the Catacombs, so that's probably part of the reason why it was the most in quantity. But regardless of that, it's still a good thing. The other thing I really like about this pack is that there's actually 3 different mounts from this pack that you can possibly get. The only difference really being is that there's just a different color within the saddle. Essentially what this does is that it gives players a little bit more hope in getting a mount, since essentially the only difference that's going to be being from any of these mounts is the saddle, giving it a little bit probably a higher chance of getting some sort of mount from this pack. And also, one of the things I also liked about the pack is that there was a pretty good amount of rare reagents I was getting during these openings as well. So that's definitely something that I have to say is pretty cool. As in terms of gear stats, I do have to say that the gear overall is a pretty decent temporarily Dragoon's replacement for those who are probably interested in getting decent offensive stats before replacing it with Dragoon's gear, because obviously Dragoon's gear is probably the superior gear overall. And one thing to note is that it does not give resistance in terms of the hat or the boots. Obviously the robes are just never good for these packs nowadays, so I just usually never recommend robes. But in terms of the hat and the boots, definitely a pretty decent Dragoon's replacement. The wands themselves, I believe, are also pretty good. I believe all those wands, I didn't get every single one, but from the ones I got in, I believe they essentially give the same stats, just have a different Maycast wand. And essentially you can say that this is a pretty decent Sinbad wand replacement. Although Sinbad is the more superior one, this one specifically has a Maycast that can actually work in PvP. It's pretty, you know, neat Maycast overall, and also has block and pip conversion advantages. So that's just the one thing I will have to say that comes from the gear. Also, it looks really cool as well. I really love the shield from the wand. You can definitely see lots of this stuff in stitches, and I think the boots also look pretty nice. The hat is just really interesting, you know, kind of looking like a druid. I honestly just wish that the hat, you know, kind of hides your face somehow. That would have been cooler, but again, overall, it's still very good gear. In terms of usefulness, I definitely do like the usefulness in this pack because they have a chance of dropping Sunions. For those who don't know, Sunions is a very good plant that you really want to have in a lot of wizards because it drops very useful TC, including enchanting TC, with the main ones that are probably going to be the most useful being Extraordinary and Colossal, which essentially gives you the best boost on your wizards currently in terms of TC. You also get some Supernova TC as well, which is also very useful. The other thing that I like about this pack is also that there's good spell elements amounts in terms of Daybreaker and Nightbringer, making it a little bit easier for you to upgrade them if you were to want to upgrade them sometime in the future. But I would still probably recommend farming for them, although this kind of might give you some sort of boost. And also the good rare reagents that came pretty often with this pack is also very useful, giving this pack a 3.5 out of 5. The Spell Elemental Skyvern's pack is going to be the next one in this review list, as in terms of the drop quality, I think it's horrible. The thing about this pack that I really hate is that it gives housing items super often that are not even rare, and not to mention there's a bunch of common pets that come in this pack that you will get very often along with the housing items that you could probably get through many other methods like hatching. Maybe even you just happen to farm a boss all of a sudden, you just get the pet out of nowhere. It's just not good overall. And the next thing is Leprechaun is probably the only useful spell element that you'll probably get, and obviously it gives Frostbill spell elements, but there's not really that much in good quantity compared to how it was in the Druids pack with Daybreaker and Nightbringer. And the only thing I will say that is good in terms of the possible drop quality has to be that there is a chance you can get the best Nova gear. And with the Nova gear, the name of the Nova gear essentially is considered the Turquoise Eagle set, which would pretty much proceed to the gear stats. What did I think about the gear stats? Well, most of the gear in my opinion is not within the current meta, so I don't recommend for it. The only exception to this is probably the Turquoise Eagle set, which gives you probably the best universal stats overall in terms of the hat and the robe. In terms of the boots, you'll probably go for something like the Silent Knights pack, or whatever that gear comes from. It's a Christmas set essentially. So the main thing from this that's very useful gear-wise has to probably be the Turquoise Eagle set. So with that in mind, we can transition towards the gear and the stats. Honestly, it looks ugly. I have nothing else to say. You know, I do not really like that look whatsoever. Maybe I can find something that may look kind of cool, but for the most part, I just think it's ugly. But let's just talk about the stats. That's the most important thing. The stats from any of these sets are not really within the current meta. In fact, the only thing that I say is good from this pack has to be the Turquoise Eagle set, which is said to be the best Nova gear in terms of the hat and the robe. Now, one thing that I did find interesting, most of the wands came with either critical, block, either comes with both. Not many of them come with Pierce, which again is just not really well with the current meta. However, there is one wand in particular that I do think is very interesting. In fact, it could be considered a decent Silver Order of the Spiral replacement wand, and this one is, if again, excuse me for my pronunciation, but I believe it's called the Emerald's Kaiman's Scepter, which gives not only critical but also gives block along with a decent amount of outgoing. Now, this definitely isn't necessarily 100% the go-to for jading heals, and it's mainly just because you're likely not going to build that much crit to begin with. However, it is something decent if somehow you have it and you don't have Silver Orders. You know, you could probably use that wand at least for a temporarily amount of time. It's still very good overall. Now, in terms of the usefulness, in my opinion, the only thing useful about this pack definitely has to just be the Turquoise Eagle set, preferably the hat and the robe. And there really shouldn't be any other reason for you to go for this pack. In my opinion, there's better ways to probably get the spell elements. I heard that Mimic drops spell elements for both Leprechaun and Frost Beetle, so I would recommend you do that instead of spending crowns for the spell elements in this pack in particular. So, my final score for this pack is going to be a 2.5 out of 5. The third pack we're going to be reviewing is the Zafaria Safari pack, which honestly probably has to be my most favorite pack out of all 4. The thing I really love about this pack is that the drop quality for this is amazing. This pack gives a good amount of rare reagents. It gives you tons of red bell peppers, which I will explain why that's super useful, along with Sunions, which again, I already explained before why that's super useful. This pack also gives 3 different mounts that you can possibly get from the pack, with the only difference being the saddle color, giving you a higher chance to get a specific mount from this pack. Again, pretty much giving players a little bit more hope in order to get a specific mount. I think the mount's very adorable. In terms of the gear and the stats, like the Druids pack, I believe that this gear is actually really good as a Dragoon's alternative. In fact, it's actually better in terms of just damage, although you do have to sacrifice some things like maybe some resistance or critical. However, in terms of damage, this one's actually pretty solid. The wands are also pretty good because it also gives a little bit of extra damage compared to Sinbad's, including some extra block and pip conversion, although Sinbad in my opinion is probably the better overall wand. So in terms of the gear and stats, I have to say that this is more towards PvE than it is more towards PvP. And even then, I will still think that Dragoons is a better overall use in terms of your gear for both PvE and PvP. Also, I really do like the Zafaria themed gear, as I could probably see some possible stitches to make from this gear. The only thing I really don't like in terms of the appearance of this gear is probably just the hat. I think the hat makes you look like a stinkweed. Other than that, I think it's a fine appearance gear. And finally, in terms of usefulness, this pack gives a very good amount of rare reagents, and I already talked about why Sunions are good from the previous packs, but I will be talking specifically about the red bell peppers because this pack drops it fairly often. The good thing about red bell peppers is that they drop things like Fire Beetle, Flute Symphony, Fuel, Firezilla, and not to mention, it gives you Amber at Elder, which is very good. As for the overall score of the Zafaria pack, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. This is actually a very solid pack. Again, I said that this has to be one of my favorites out of the 4, and it's for many good reasons. Now, for the last pack. Probably my least favorite pack, I have to say. This one is the Spelemental Pharaohs pack, which honestly, I'm not even sure if it got worse compared to the original one, because I don't really remember opening packs for this to begin with, but from my experience, drop quality is horrible. In fact, most of the time, you're just going to be getting housing items that could probably be bought from the bazaar, and there's really not much else better to get from this pack other than probably some Spelements from, you know, Lightning Bats, and I believe there's something else that's from this pack that I probably just can't really remember, nor do I really care. Oh yeah, it's Firecat. Yeah, for some reason, I really want some Spelemental Firecats, definitely. Definitely very useful for sure. This also has a decent amount of times that I got some Amber reagents. Again, that's probably the only other positive I can probably give for this pack. And some pretty rare croc-based TC that I got sometimes. In terms of like the gear and the stats, I think the gear looks kind of cool. My most favorite thing about the gear definitely has to be the scepters. I think the ones from the pack actually look really cool. I even got to try to see the wand animation. What would have been even cooler is like, let's say like you just kind of put the staff down and the eyes from the wand glow and it just shoots out lasers at the opponent. That would look cooler, but that's not the case. However, it's a very cool looking one at least, but in terms of the stats, it's not useful for either PvE or PvP because it's very out of the meta. It's mainly focused towards critical, block. Sometimes it gives pierce, sometimes it might give something like incoming, but other than that, there's not really much that's useful because nowadays the meta is going to be a little bit of everything with damage, or like a little bit of everything with like critical or like high amounts of critical. That's just the meta that it is right now. In terms of the meta in this pack, it's definitely not in meta. So the only thing I can say that's useful is probably the Amber and some Spelements, but I can't really recommend anyone opening this for any of those reasons. There's better alternatives to getting Amber, and there's also better alternatives, possibly in the future, to get some of the spell elements. Not to mention Lightning Bat spell elements. It's spell writing specifically is the term for it. It's not necessarily the best in my opinion. So I'm giving this pack a 1 out of 5. In fact, I believe this pack probably has to be the lowest rated pack from all of pack review, which just amazes me. However, guys, I'm gonna end it here for this episode of pack review. I did have to make some changes with this video, and it's mainly because for the sake of time, because I know that since I'm reviewing 4 different packs, there's just going to be too much to talk about certain packs that I probably just wouldn't have time to talk about normally if it was like a normal pack review video. So instead of just going more in depth of most of these packs, I decided just going for like the highlights that I believe people will probably care about a little bit more in terms of pack review. However, the next time I do it, it's going to be just one specific pack, usually whenever it just releases, and I will try to be going more in depth of the pack in that due time. However, guys, hopefully that you did enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and also let me know what you want to see in the future in terms of content for this channel. And as always, remember to stay frenzy. Peace.
Getting stronger every day.